And for people who was like, what the fuck, Phil, how do we able to understand anything what you are saying? There is some pretty useful information where I'm going to make a tier list, in my own opinion, of clans which are able to use in current Coliseum. I'm so sorry that I was not able to record games and comment them in English, but as I've explained in comments, I'm a guy who is always looking on activity, on the amount of likes, on the amount of views, on the amount of comments, and it's pretty necessary to me to see that you really need something, because on my last videos, sadly I was not able to understand that my content and my videos are really important for you. But here is a little bonus especially for you, and I know that many players have started their Coliseum way already. I'm sure that many have tried my deck which I have shown in my vids, but here I'm going to explain some stuff why we decided to choose these two clans, and why, for example, other clans are worse in my eyes, and something else. So let's going to start with All Stars, because there's the first in the list. Big Sand, Cardigan, Coromale, Marmalade, and Wavewang. Not a bad clan at all. There is very strong card like Coromale. Any card with defeat ability is much better than a card with damage reduction, for example. But at the same time, we have Big Sand, which is kind of worse than cards from other clans like Maledicta, like from Uluvat or Skinny Bob. In the same time, we have Cardigan. I don't like Cardigan at all, just because in my own opinion that card have one understat, so he should be 6-3 to be playable, but with 6-2 I don't see any place for him. There is Marmalade, not a bad card at all, one of the strongest probably versus my own deck, and one fight which I lost and which you didn't saw was versus Marmalade, because I had Grindy, Boomstock, Dr. Web, and if I'm not mistaken, Flora, and it was almost impossible to do anything, and I lost that game, yeah. And Wavegang. Not the worst 5-star, but an ability in most of the cases will not be activated, so in my own opinion, All Stars is not a good choice for you. I'm not going to say that it's trash, but there is 3 tiers, and in my own opinion, All Stars is going in tier 3. Let me find, yes. Here we go, and we are going to add them here. Let's take a look on the next clan. It's Bangers. Blast, Duke Snob, Graf, Skinny Bob. So what I said before, there is Big Sand, there is Skinny Bob. Skinny Bob ability in average is going to give us plus 12 attack. Maybe even more, just because there is much bigger amount of 7 power cards than with 6 power card. Maybe. I haven't calculated, I haven't checked that, but 12 is definitely an average. And if we are taking a look on Big Sand, in average, probably 4 attack. So yeah, for sure, in my own opinion, Bangers are better than All Stars, because there is pretty stable 2 stars like Duke Snob, there is good 2 stars like Skinny Bob, but in the same time we have Graf, which is same as Cardigan, and we have Blast, which is not useful at all in that particular format. As 5-star we have Clifford. Clifford is definitely better than Wavegun, just because it's easier to activate his ability, because we have Montana, we have Uppers, we have Sacrum in that format, also we have cards like Archon, so yeah, it's definitely easier to activate him, but his ability once again wouldn't be very useful on the distance in my own opinion. So I'm not going to say that Bangers are worse than All Stars, but I'm not going to recommend to use that clan as well. But since we need to choose at least one power modification clan in tier 2, then probably I'm going to choose Bangers in that tier, just because I already know that in tier 1 we will have another clan. So yeah, let's put it in tier 2. Bangers, 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 here we go. The next clan is Berserk. Bruno, Chunk, Leopold, Miles, and Gems. One of the best offensive clans in that particular format. Very good into non-SOA clans. Very big amount of damage, a lot of power modification. Bruno is one of the best cats of the format at all. So here we are able to understand one of the reasons, for example, why we decided to use this SOA clan like roots. But yeah, I don't have a possibility to say that Berserk is a bad clan. It's one of the best clans, especially since we have Seigu 2 stars, we have Bruno, we have Leopold, we have Miles. Leopold minus 9 attack is pretty cool in that format, because as we were able to see from other cats, in average there is cats which are going to give much less amount of attack. And in same time, Games is one of the best. Games, sorry, is one of the best 5 stars of that format, because there is a lot of damage reductor. There is a lot of cats with defeat abilities. For example, there is also Jungo. But yeah, Games of course have their weakness. It's pretty weak cat. Sorry, into stop opponent ability. So yeah. I'm definitely going to say that it's tier 1 clan, but not the most stable, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't decided to use them. But apart from that, this is beautiful clan, and definitely you could and maybe should try it, especially if you are not facing my deck. Sorry. Yeah, I'm making a video on my phone because something happened with my PC, so I need to waste my energy to make that video on my phone. Okay, doesn't seem too bad. The next clan is FPK, Korishan Sensei, Kusuri, Tenak, and Tiner. Tiner is definitely very bad cat, especially since there is condition in her ability, it's growth. Also, it's pretty weak base stats, it's pretty weak into SOA, pretty weak into damage reduction, pretty weak almost for everything. So it's pretty predictable also, cat. So in my opinion, it's one of the worst cat in that format. But overall, of course, there is good 2 stars. There is Korishan Sensei, cool cat, especially since we saw pretty strong Berserk before. We will see also for example, Jungo later, but in same time, apart from that, Tenak is worse than Dr. Web, for example, but Tenak is still okay, Kusuri is still okay, but 5 stars too bad. So I'm not able to say that it's worse than All Stars, probably able to say that it's tier 2, because it's some kind of clan which could be played, but 5 stars too weak to put them in tier 1, so yeah, it's tier 2 in maximum, maybe even tier 3. Let's see in the final, because I'm not going to lie, I haven't planned how I'm going to put this clan before the beginning of the video. So yeah, maybe I will change something in the end. And we are going to take a look on the next clan. It's Freaks. Frindon, Fraggle, Jezebel, Shazam, and Eve. Pretty good cats for that format, but the problem is the minimum of bonus of that clan. So if you are going to face a guy who have, for example, Berserk, or just have a heavy hand, it will be almost impossible to win with them, just because it will be just hard to KO your opponent, and your opponent in the same time could have much bigger amount of possibilities to KO you or to make your lives lower than 3. For example, as we saw, there is, for example, Berserk. So yeah, in my opinion, it's unplayable clan with good cats. Unplayable clan with good cats, because for example there is 5 star with definitely good ability and pretty stable value, but yeah, whole clan is just unplayable in my opinion. Freaks, here it is. Let's make it smaller. Okay, let's go. The next clan, it's Hive, yes? Frinden, Jezebel, Shazam, no, it's Geist. Arkan, Sudron, Hachi, Hoffman, and Vladimir. Very good clan, very good clan. There is some possibility to have defensive ability from Xudron, for example. But overall, I'm not going to say that I like Geist more than Roots. We have discussed a little that clan with guys in Discord, and I saw their explanations, and maybe in case of stable damage and stable value, they are better. But in same time, in my own opinion, if we compare Roots and Geist, I'm always going to use Roots just because they are more flexible, and I will explain you why. So in my opinion, Geist is very good clan, but since we will have in tier 1 another stop opponent ability clan, I'm not going to put Geist in tier 1, but definitely from tier 2, Geist probably is the best clan for sure, because they have a lot of damage. They could have second plan with Xudron, because it's very flexible card for that format. He could block some damage or block some powerful abilities like from Bruno, or from skills like Beknena or Dolum, but in my own opinion, Roots are just better, so yeah, I'm going to put Geist in tier 2. This is, as I said, probably the best clan from tier 2. Yes. Okay, let's take a look on the next clan. It's Hive. Unplayable bonus, it's easier to understand that the average value of their bonus will be only -6 attack, also pretty high minimum, because there is, for example, uppers, versus which I probably played 0 times, but yeah, definitely uppers are much better than Hive, junks are much better than Hive, and cards are not too good, like On is not too good, Wave is just meh, Hull Gladius is pretty bad, once again Equalizer ability Maya, once again pretty weak base stats, 5-star another Equalizer ability, so just pointless clan in my own opinion. It's definitely even lower than tier 3, by the way, it's just unplayable. But once again, it's my own opinion, maybe we will have some players which use them, and they will explain that this clan is very powerful. Yeah, probably I will need to make this icon smaller, because there is pretty low amount of space already. Yeah, it's not an easy kind of video to make from my phone, but yeah, sadly I have just problems with my PC, so have nothing to do. Блять, how to move it? Okay, and let's make it a little smaller. Yeah, it's definitely pretty bad in case of Design, but yeah, as I said, I have nothing to do, because I don't know, maybe I will have my PC only in a few days, and I will need to spend a lot of money. So yeah, let's make it now, because for the moment it could be useful for someone. By the way, pretty huge amount of time I've spent already. Let's try to make it faster. The next clan is Huracan, Derby Queen, Gatuchika, Zapatino, and Pandagran. Very good 5-star Pandagran, but in my own opinion, this is the type of a clan which you just don't need. They're definitely better than Hive, they are definitely playable, but in my own opinion, they have too big amount of weakness. For example, Gatuchika with min 3 could be just pointless card in some fights. Zapatino is a cool card with good ability, but in same time, without bonus, this is one of the weakest clan, and even with bonus, I'm not going to say that it's pretty strong. They're pretty bad into Nightmares, into Piranhas. They're not good into stop opponent ability clans. They're probably very good into skills, by the way, just due to specific of their bonus, but in same time skills have just enormous amount of damage, and this clan have 0 damage reduction. So yeah, I'm just going to say that this is probably not the worst clan, but it's still tier C in my own opinion. So they have good cards, but in 10 life format it's just pointless to use them in my own opinion. So yeah, it's tier C. Tier C, but I definitely know that there is players who use them, and I face them a lot of times, but I'm not going to say that it was something really special. The next clan is Jungo, one of the best clan of this format for sure. Grau, Jin, PX, Nailman, and Karin. So this clan have probably one of the best 2 stars. They are probably even better than 2 stars of Berserk just because they are more stable. There is, for example, probably the best 2 star of the format, it's Grau. But in the same time they have Karin Care. Of course, someone is able to say, wow, Karin Care is going to destroy you. But I've faced Karin Care and I won that fight. The problem of Karin Care is 7 power, and even if you are draw him versus Soa, in most of the cases you are going to play first. And if your opponent is smart enough, he will not give you just any possibilities to use Karin Care into Soa. So yeah, this is pretty hard to say how to value that clan, but due to best 2 stars I could not put them in tier 2, so it's tier 1, but in my opinion Berserk are better. So it's still tier 1, but Berserk are better, it's my opinion. Jungo, let's go. Also into Jungo, for example, Geist will be much stronger just because Hachi will be able to make his whole amount of value. So yeah, just Berserk is better in my own opinion. And we are going to take a look on the next clan, it's Junks. Quest, Timanov, Sonata, Space Hands, and Pearl. Very good 2 stars once again, but at the same time Sonata, I'm not going to say that it's pointless card, but let's imagine that Sonata is going to play versus cards like, let me try to remember, Big Sand, like 2 stars from Uppers, or probably versus Dr. Web, or probably into Maledicton from Piranhas. So yeah, there is 2 big amount of cases where Sonata is going to be bad. Timanov is definitely better than, for example, Hoffman, but still there is no big sense in that card because you can be KO'd. Quest is pretty strong, I really like that card, very good base stats, good ability for that format, but in my opinion it's not enough, especially since we have such 5 star like Pearl. Pearl is just too bad, very weak base stats, it's actually 3 star card because there is Death of Funk, for example, so in my opinion this is probably better than, for example, Hive, but it's still worse for sure than Huracan, even since we have such 2 stars like Quest, because the other 2 stars are not good enough for sure. Maybe with, for example, Flanagan, this clan would have more space of usage, but in my opinion this is still not good enough. So yeah, it's still C in my opinion, because 5 star is too weak and 2 stars are not good enough to make the difference. Junks, here we go. Yeah, definitely we will not have enough space. The next clan is Montana. Mattacione, Mimo, Spiaghi, Enzo, and Angelo. Yeah, sorry, I forgot Angelo. So Angelo, once again, I don't like such cards, but since in that particular clan we have the best attack mode bonus in whole format, Angelo could be playable, just because minus 12 attack, it's better than minus 2 power, plus 2 power, or plus, or minus 6 attack like Maya. So yeah, definitely Angelo is the best 2-star card with 6-2 base stats and stop opponent ability. But still, we have Oxo, for example, in that format, or Jin. Mimo, very strong. Spiaghi, Mattacione, not the best cards, but Spiaghi is just fine. Enzo could be very good. Pretty decent base stats, 8-5, very good for Montana especially. An ability in most of the cases will not be useful for us, but still, even as you were able to see in my own video, there is some space where that card is going to be useful. Versus Junko, for example, as well. So Montana, in my opinion, is a good clan, it's a playable clan, it's definitely better than Junks, than Huracan, but I just could not put that clan in tier 1, just because I don't feel like it's deserved tier 1. In same time, there is pretty low amount of damage, apart from Enzo, there is just no damage at all, so yeah, it's only tier 2 in my opinion. It's only tier 2 in my own opinion. Sorry, this is wrong. Fuck. We need Montana. Montana, let's go. But yeah, this is definitely playable clan, and you're able to try them. Just, in my own opinion, not good enough to be in tier 1. Fuck. Okay, and make it smaller. Yeah, definitely it doesn't look very representative, but the main task is information, guys. The next clan is Nightmares. Artus, Buffer, Diabolus, Gorgon, and Ozzy. So this is type of a clan which I really like. There is Buffer, for example, which is not affected by Equalizer like Sonnet or like Chunk or like Frindan. There is very strong two-star like Diabolus, one of the best two-stars of the format, very stable into damage reduction. And there is Ozzy, very decent 5-star, not that bad like games into soldiers because there is top opponent bonus in his bonus. Very good into damage reduction, but at the same time I just could not put that clan in tier 1 probably still. Or maybe I should. It's pretty hard question for me just because I like that clan. It was one of the clans which I chose to use, but in my own opinion, yeah, okay, it's deserved tier 1, but it's definitely one of the worst tier 1 in my opinion. Let's say in that way. Just because this clan don't have big I forgot that word. Flexibility. Don't have big flexibility. Because Arthos, in my own opinion, is pretty weak at same card like Arno. They're not the best in case of base stats, for example. There is some cards which are able to just destroy this clan. They're definitely better than Piranhas in my eyes. They're definitely more stable than Piranhas in my eyes. But in just my own opinion, there is just better clans. It's very good clan, very stable clan, but not flexible enough. They are flexible, but not flexible enough. It's probably not an easy stuff to understand because I said that there is this good, but yeah, just there is better clans in my own opinion with better base stats, better abilities or anything else. So they are good and definitely you should try them because there is definitely good cards. But for example, even if you take into account Buffo, very high minimum. For example, we have Dr. Web with lower minimum. If we are taking, for example, 5-star, where is this fucking 5-star? Ozzy, it's only 7 power, not too much. Gorgon, only plus 10 attack and 2 damage. For example, as I said before, we have Skinny Bob with 3 damage. So, very good clan, or even Diabolus, but in my opinion, confidence is worse than Revenge. So, for example, Beknena is better. So, a lot of good cards, but it's easier to counter them than others. So yeah, it's tier 1, but probably one of the worst tier 1s. They're better than, for example, Geist in my own opinion. But still not good enough to say that it's must-have clan. It's my own opinion once again. Make them smaller and put in tier 1. And we are going to take a look on the next clan. I hope I will be able to make this video for 30 minutes because I don't think that someone is going to spend that much time to take a look on that video. But yeah, it's something new, so probably you will enjoy it. The next clan is Piranhas, Bonnie, Maledictan, Parmabarb, Zulu, and Jasmine. On the first look, it's the best clan of the format. Let me try to explain why. There is Jasmine with very good ability. Copy opponent bonus is very stable value, so in average that card is going to be 8-7. Also, there is very good 2 stars. Maledictant, 6-3 base stats, not the worst ability. Zulu, very good ability. Bonnie, very good cat with stable value as well, with very good base stats. So we have very good base stats, not the worst abilities, very good 5-star. Parmabarb I'm not taking into account just because since we have only 10 lives, it will be hard to have a space for him. But maybe you will find a duo deck where you will be use him on his whole value, but in my opinion, yeah, Parmabarb is just too bad for that format. So what's the problem of Piranhas? In my opinion, they just don't have a second plan. What I mean by second plan, for example, you saw how I played few games with roots into skills. And I had changes always, just because I have damage reduction, I could have more power with Fungus, I could have the same amount of damage with Mildred. And here, if we are going to face skills with Piranhas, in most of the cases we wouldn't have any changes, because we have less power, we have less damage, we have less attack mode, we have less everything. Because Bonnie is definitely worse than Yomi, Maledict and Enzul is definitely worse than Dolum, 5-star with Thomas is definitely better than Jasmine. So this is a good clan, but there is clans in that format which are going to destroy us. It's the same stuff with Berserk, for example. Let me take a look. Bruno, Chang, Games, we just don't have anything to stop them. We could win rounds, of course, but these cats have more value. Same stuff with 2 stars from Junko, for example. We have 8-5, 2 stars from Junko with Grow. We have Jin, they are more flexible. 5-star Jasmine, very good into some clans, very good into Bangers, into Montana, into another attack mode clans, but in same time they're going to, she's very weak into skills, into riots. So yeah, just because we have clans which are able to literally destroy Piranhas, I could not say that Piranhas is the best clan. So maybe on the distance they will give you a good value, and if you're not taking a look on the first spot, Piranhas is a good choice for you, because on the average you will have an advantage. But I'm a guy who is always making a tier list, or who is always thinking about first place. So that's why I'm not going to say that Piranhas is a good choice. So if your task is just to have fun, to have good matchups, to don't be weak, you're able to use Piranhas. But if your goal is to be first, in my opinion, Piranhas is a bad choice. That's why in my own tier list I'm going to put them in tier 2. And it's definitely one of the best clans from tier 2, same as Geist. But between Geist and Piranhas I'm going to choose probably Geist again. Just because there is, for example, Xudron, which is going to destroy skills. And at the same time, Geist are very good into riots, which we'll discuss a bit later. So yeah, Piranhas, incredible clan, very stable, but there is just clans which are going to destroy them. So only tier 2 in my own opinion. And this is a pretty popular clan in that format for sure. I had a lot of matchups into them. Jesus. Okay, let's give a fuck. Let's take a look on the next clan. And the next clan is Pussycats. Kitty, Vanya, Emma, and Beticia. Not the worst clan. The problem is Emma. Very bad to have such condition in that format, because in this format we have a lot of cats like Peg, like Spiaggi, or like Chunk, like Buffo, Arthos, and so on. So since that cat have pretty unflexible ability, of course we're able to use that cat without an ability, but still, to make the whole value we need to use on courage. And I'm not going to say that 2 stars are really good, because we have only damage reduction, we don't have good damage cat. Maybe with cats like Nabrisa, this clan will be much higher in my tier list, but expecting that we will be use Vanya as more than 7-4, or expect that Kitty is going to reduct more than 1 damage. It's not an easy task. Or Betisa is going to copy more than 2 damage. It's very hard. So yeah, in my opinion, this is tier 3 clan. This is playable tier 3 clan, but I don't think that is useful clan. So yeah, only tier 3 in my opinion. Only tier 3 in my opinion. Maybe this card like Lena, for example, it will be tier 1. So yeah. But with this particular cards, only tier 3, and yeah, we don't have a lot of space already. I don't know what I'm going to do, but maybe I will just make second line. So let's just put them a bit higher. Because yeah, especially it's about... Блять, it's so hard to make it on phone. It's the first and the last tier list on my phone for sure. Trust me. So yeah, let's take a look on the next clan. And it's Riots. Boomstock, Dr. Web, Garinti, Kugluf, and Octana. Octana, one of the best 5 stars of the format, very good base stats and at least playable ability. 8-6 is enormous base stats, only cut from skills. Thomas has the same amount of base stats, but definitely ability of Octana is more playable, and there is possibility where Octana is going to give you some directs, because for example, if you won the first round and used only few pills, you're able to play with Fury Octana in the next round and have a direct. And yeah, I definitely like that clan. That clan could be very useful into skills, could be very useful into piranhas, into nightmares, could be very bad at the same time into geist, into roots. So yeah, I like that clan. Personally, I rate that clan much higher that I'm going to put in my tier list, but yeah, this clan is only tier 2 in my own opinion, but I will use them because I know their power, and with my particular duo, they had a perfect balance in my own opinion. So that's why I used Riots, but from things which I've explained, I could not use them as tier 1 clan, because they have less amount of value than Jungo, than Berserk, or than even Nightmares. They could be very weak into Roots, into Geist, and probably into some other clans. For example, into Montana, I don't really like Riots, because they don't have enough value. But no, okay, into Montana, it's not the best example, but for example, as I've explained, into All-Stars, they're pretty weak. They could be pretty weak into Sacrum, for example, just because Sacrum would have the same amount of value or even big amount of value with their cats, but they have Oxo, which is going to destroy us. So yeah, this is one of my favorite clans, but it's not a tier 1, it's tier 2 only. It's only tier 2. And we are going to take a look on the next clan. It's Roots. Once again, one of my favorite clans, and let's try to explain why I choose Roots over everything else. Yes, 5-star is not the best. Will be very hard to use a value in an ability of that cat in average, because there is a condition in her ability and this courage. But in the same time, 6-7 base stats is fine. Also, as I said, when you are making a deck, you couldn't just take a look on my tier list. You need to think about whole compilation. I don't know is the correct word or not, but let's say compilation. Maybe not compilation. Synergy, yeah, about whole synergy of your deck. And for example, if I imagine that I'm facing skills, definitely that card is going to be useful, because there is Beknena, there is Dolum, there is Thomas, and we are able to counter these cards with Miss Nova. Also, due to having bigger amount of damage reduction in the deck, you just can force your opponent to use damage card into other cards. So for example, with Miss Nova, we will block that possibility as well. For example, if we are starting with Miss Nova, our opponent would not like to use, for example, Octana. But if we have in same time Fungus and other damage reduction, probably he will need to use it. Or, for example, if we have a duo with Berserk and Roots, he will need to use Octana versus Misnoa because he would not have a chance to use Octana into Bruno or into Miles, for example. So yeah, definitely not the worst 5-star. There is possibility to have a value, or at least we can imagine situations where it will be very important to have her. But the more important part is 2 stars. It's just amazing 2 stars. There is Mildred, one of the best 2 stars of whole format. Very nice maximum of ability 11, so almost in every fight we will have a possibility to use the maximum amount of value in that card. Flora, probably the best 2 stars of the format, because as I've explained, when we are using damage reduction, we are not expecting that damage reduction is going to be on whole value. We can imagine -1 damage in the best, but Flora is very stable, insane into cards like Gorgon, for example. Also Fungus, insane card, just insane card. 9-3 base stats is just amazing. In same time, if we compare Geist and Roots, with Roots we will have much bigger amount of possibilities to win into skills. Because we have not less power, we have Fungus with 9 power, they don't have any 9 power. We have a lot of damage with Mildred, and we also able to KO. Because, for example, Hachi is not going to hire our chance to KO. And with cards like Flora and Miss Nova, we're able to expect that our opponent will not be able to KO us. So yeah, it's definitely insane clan. And in my own opinion, it's tier 1. Probably someone is going to put it only in tier 2. But yeah, in my own opinion, it's tier 1. Very stable, very good. Maybe not that stable as Berserk or as Jungo, but I just know how I'm able to have a value with that clan. So yeah, it's tier 1 in my personal list. And I don't think that I will surprise someone with that point. Let's take a look on the next clan. It's Sacrom, Aleister, Lich, Oxa, Serline, and Reinekar. Not an easy clan to estimate, because, for example, we have a card here which is able to make 1 KO. It's the only one card, but at the same time, as we have spoken before, we just have too big amount of cards which are able to reduce our damage. There is also very good card like Oxo. As I've explained before, Oxo just have overstat over cards like Cardigan, like Graf, like Maya. Also we have Leech, which have even bigger maximum in an ability than Mildred. So in my own opinion, Sacrom is the best attack mode clan of the format. I'm not joking. Yes, I'm not joking, because even let's imagine we are facing Piranhas, which are definitely going to destroy Sacrom in average. And let's try to imagine we have Reinekar in our hand. Of course, it's not a hard possibility to Piranhas to win that round. But they will need to use a lot of pills. They will need to use, for example, 5 pills in Jasmine to cover Fury in our Reine. They will need to use 4 pills in Maledictant to cover our Reine. And since we have Oxo, since we have Leech, since we have Aleister, we can imagine that if they are using 4 pills in the first round into our 5-star, we will be able to come back with these cards. So yeah, in my opinion, Sacrom is hidden OP clan. This is not a joke. In my opinion, it's hidden OP clan. There is better and more safer spots like Berserk, but I definitely have a feeling that there is ways how you are able to maximize their value. For example, you are able to use Sacrom with Riots. It was one of my ideas as well. You're able to try maybe Berserk with Sacrom as well. So yeah, definitely it's very strong clan, and in my opinion it's the best clan with attack mode, and definitely it's worth to be in tier 1, at least in my tier list. As I said, always you could have your own opinion on and every choice from me. But yeah, in my opinion, Sacrom is tier 1, sorry. Let's take a look on the next clan and its skills. Biknena, Dolum, Gosalin, Yomi and Thomas. Another hard clan to estimate. Because, for example, Thomas, the best base stats of the format, same as... sorry, it's not an easy task to remember in every card now. Let's take a look to Octana, of course, Octana. In same time, stop opponent bonus could be very useful in some matchups versus Sacrum, versus Montana, Huracan, Hive, All Stars, Bangers, and so on. In same time, it will be very weak, all pretty weak into Jungo, into Berserk, into Riots, and so on. So I feel like we can put skills in tier 1 that are definitely better in my opinion than, for example, Geist or than, for example, Piranhas. And especially since I've used roots, they should be in tier 1. So it's between tier 1 and tier 2, but I feel like it's more like tier 1 because their 2 stars are too strong. Yomi is insane card. 8-5 without any conditions, it's insane. So total value of 2 star Yomi is 13, 5 plus 8. Beknena is insane cat, and as I've explained before, Revenge is better than Confidence, and I will put Nightmares in tier 1. Dolum is very underrated, plus 20 attack is still insane. Especially since you have this amount of value in other cats. So yeah, skills is definitely tier 1, definitely deserved tier 1. Maybe I'm not going to use the clan just because I know that there is some counters, for example, with Riots. But yeah, I feel like skills is very stable, and they are more stable than Piranhas in my opinion, just because they have enormous amount of value in their abilities. So yeah, in my opinion, skills is tier 1. Jesus. Shit. Блять. Okay. We are going to take a look on the next clan, and it's Uluwatu. Yes. Linkos, Mangas, Quill, Sunscale, and Miss Lullaby. Miss Lullaby is probably the best 5-star of the format in case of stable value, because I can imagine that in almost every fight we will be able to use Miss Lullaby to reduce 2 power from our opponents. And this is insane for that format, that we can have 11-5 cat as 5-star. And in the same time we have for example Linka's insane kill shot ability. We have also Mango, not the worst cat, because as we have spoken before, Manga is definitely better than, for example, Gorgon. It's definitely better than, for example, Big Sand. It's some sort of Zulu tier. So yeah, I definitely have a possibility to imagine the way of using it. There is also Sunscale, not the worst card, not the worst. But in my opinion, if we compare Uluwatu with other clans from tier 1, I'm never going to choose them. Because they are same tier as Piranhas. Very stable, very good, but just in some matchups they would have less amount of value. They would have less amount of value versus Roots, versus Nightmares. They would not be very good into Berserk or Junko. They would not be even very good into Sacrum, because they don't have any damage reduction, so they will need for sure to cover Reina, for example. And they don't have the big amount of value as skills in the same time. So yeah, in my opinion, it's very good clan, and it's one of the best clans from tier 2, but it's still tier 2 in my own opinion. Uluwatu, let's put them here. I hope you would not be confused by that place, because yeah, I just have pretty low amount of space. And the last clan of that format is Uppers. Blinkst, Dr. Six, Gale, Salzburg, and Sydney. Salzburg, once again, is one of the best 2 stars of the format, same like Kusuri, like Flora. There is Dr. Six, pretty decent card. Same tier as, for example, 2 stars from Nightmare. Let me try to remember the name, Diabolos. But at the same time, as I always said, confidence is worse than Revengers, because it's easier to use damage reduction into that clan. Into that cat, sorry. But at the same time, Gale. Gale is definitely, of course, better than Hulk Gladius, but still 8 in average, it's not too good, because we have Becknian, we have Dr. Six, we have Bruno, we have Grau, and so on. And Blinkst, not the worst cat, especially into some matchups like Piranhas, like Nightmares, All Stars, and so on, but 5-star. This 5-star is just too bad. Sydney is just too bad. You could say, Phil, what the fuck is this? How you put Berserk in tier 1 and saying that Sydney have bad base stats. But in same time, Berserk are just too good with their abilities. They're better with abilities than uppers. So yeah, they have some huge disadvantages into Soa, but I able to imagine the ways of balance them, for example, with skills. And uppers are just worse in that way, because they have the same disadvantages, but their advantages are worse than advantages of other clans. So yeah, I don't know, uppers probably is only tier 3 clan, because yeah, there is not the worst cats, but I don't think that they deserve it even tier 2. It's one of the best clans from tier 3, let's say in that way. But they don't deserve, in my own opinion, to be in tier 2. Wow. Let's try to make some amount of conclusions. So, as you're able to see, my own deck was combination of tier 1 and tier 2 clan. I even decided to use it just because when I spent time to make my perfect deck, I just imagined different matchups. I imagined what my opponent is going to use. And if we are going to take a look on tier 1, we are able to understand that Riots is going to be very good and very stable versus almost everything, except, for example, Roots. They are going to be okay versus Berserk, because we have some counters for Bruno. We could over damage, for example, Jungo even, since we have Dr. Web, which is going to always reduce -2 from Snailman or Grau. We are able to counter very nice Nightmares. We are able to counter Rainmaker without spending a lot of pills, because we have damage reduction. We are very good into skills once again. So yeah, Riots is just my type of clan. They could be not the best overall. They don't have the best amount of value, but they are very flexible. We have good base stats with Octana, we have insane damage reduction with Dr. Web, we have insane 2-star like Boomstock, because in my opinion Courage is better than Confidence. Grindy, yes, Grindy is pretty bad, but it's not the worst cat for sure. It's definitely better than, for example, Arno, let's say. So yeah, that's why I used Riots. And that's why I used Roots, because Roots are able to be very good into Berserk, they're able to be not the worst into skills, they're able to be very good into Sakron, because Miss Nova is going to block Reine. Of course, they are pretty weak, for example, into Piranhas. Maybe not the best into Nightmares, but at the same time Fungus is going to outpower them. So yeah, that's why my duo was Roots and Riots. But if you are going to use, for example, Uluwatu and Piranhas, it will not be a mistake, it's very good, it's pretty stable, but my goal is to make top 1. And if I want to make top 1, I need to make some risks, and I know why I'm taking these risks. And since I've made 27-2, I definitely knew what I'm doing. So you are able to share your opinions in comments. For sure, I will be able to see that there is players who used Berserk Junga, for example. There is mini macho who made almost rainbow deck, which is going to be extremely good into piranhas and nightmares, but in same time going to be pretty weak into roots, for example. So yeah, there is huge amount of possibilities. You just need to imagine what you are expecting to face. And I could say that my expectations was same as reality. Because for the moment meta could be different. You could face almost in every fight, for example, roots maybe, I don't know. So yeah, you will be able to adapt by yourself, for sure. And maybe that video is going to help even my potential opponents who are looking to make 30 wins and 0 losses as well. I don't know. But yeah, it is what it is. I hope you enjoyed that video. You're able to support me with likes, with comments. You're able to send that video to your friends. You're able to tag that video in Urban Rivals. You're able even to make donations. Yes. I didn't saw donations for a long time, so why not? Thanks so much for your attention. I really hope that you enjoyed that video. I really hope that you missed videos in English. I really hope that it will be useful. It would be useful for you, and you will be able to make your final decision by using my video. So yeah, thanks so much, and see you in upcoming videos.